So I was at CES recently. Some of you guys may have seen the short, but I got my first look at all of these Navimow robotic lawnmowers, and they've got something for everybody. The diversity of options here is something that requires a little bit of a breakdown, because it starts over here at the i2 and it goes all the way up to this monster, and probably my favorite, which is the X4, and this thing can do up to an acre. So things change as you move between these, and it's not just that the lawnmowers get bigger and have more cutting power or bigger batteries, but it's also that the feature set sort of changes in order to account for the variety of environments that people are cutting in. Let's start over here. This one you can see is set up for 0.25 acres. It's the i210 all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive in this case is meaning three-wheel drive, because you've got the two big ones and a turning one on the back. Now, the reason you might want to have a turning system like this is it's actually a little bit easier on your grass. The next model actually takes that a step further. So this one is part of the same series, i2 series. It's the 215, and then this is the keyword LiDAR. Now, before we talk about the LiDAR that's built in, this one is also rated for a slightly larger yard. 0.37 acres. This one using LiDAR is just drop and go. And I talked about this when I was at the booth and did the short. You just put this one down, it will auto map. So there is no like following it around, setting a perimeter. With a greater degree of precision as well, because it has that LiDAR vision, it's going to see things, obstacles a little bit more clearly. It can obviously work in darker situations via the LiDAR, which is kind of an unusual thing to think about, like cutting the yard at night, but it's pretty quiet too, so it could do that. Now, moving up to the H series down here, we go up to 0.5 acres of coverage. And this moves you into a more premium series, which still packs that LiDAR tech that I mentioned in the 215, but this one is gonna be able to tackle even more complex and uneven terrain with the capability of going up steeper slopes. Last, we have probably the most exciting, definitely the coolest looking. This is the X4 series, and it's the most powerful. So let's open them up, get them lined up, and see how they look. Accessory box labeled. Oh, there we go. So here we have the i210 all-wheel drive. You see you have manual control on top for dialing in how much cutting you want it to do, the height of the grass. Big stop button, an info display. We can see our vision fence up front. And if I just flip this over, here's our cutting area, and then you can see that all-wheel drive system. And of course, the idea of these is that they are really like hands-free, and that includes the charging. So these will return home to their base station, recharge, and then continue working, continue right where they left off if they need to. All right, next up, still from the I series, but now the LiDAR. So a slightly larger unit, 215 LiDAR, info display is here, big stop button. At the front, this is gonna be your biggest difference. Solid state LiDAR system. We've still got our vision system next to it. All right, as we move up now into the H series, similar in scale. Again, we're adding more to the feature set with the solid state LiDAR up front. Okay, last up, we have the X series. It's the X430. Rated for 1 acre. There's actually an even bigger unit than this that'll do up to 1.5 acres. But this is a big step up. So you can see it's a whole different scale now. Whoa. I mean, you can still lift it. That's more like a go-kart. Like I said, it's mostly about more power, more terrain capabilities. Got this big front bumper. It has that same rubber kind of feeling that the H series has. The key thing is the ability of these front tires to turn essentially completely this way, a 0 turn radius. We've got the vision up front here, 360-degree vision fence. Now, in this case, look what we got. We now have 2 completely separate cutting wheels. So the cutting surface area here is much larger, as you can see. The other thing that they've got built in, they have Apple Find My. If anyone tries to steal one of these, it's nice to have something extra built in so you can locate it. So this is a more sort of fitting environment. Obviously, we're indoors still. We have some turf, but to give you a visualization of what it's gonna look like in its proper element on some grass, it's actually easy to set up. Like, I've got the app here, and we've actually got a couple of different mowers. We can switch devices and we can have them working in tandem. So you can see the X430, the i215 disconnected for now. So the way that this would work is we would create a map. The mower would then look to the perimeter and try to establish the boundaries of the area that it's going to work in. We have the ability to go in and configure our mowing schedule, our work mode, the cutting height. We can have a global cutting height, mowing at night if we want to have that or not. And I'm going to show you in a moment how quiet this thing is, so you can definitely mow at night if you want to. Map management and mowing reports, also our advanced features for traction control, adaptive weather, vision fence, if we're using NRTK. And then our anti-theft features are in here as well. So you can see we can set up a geofence alarm, so it'll make noise if it leaves a certain area. If it gets lifted up, the alarm can go off. Now we can interact via the app, but we can also interact right on the device. So you see this big display on top. So I can do my cutting height, my safety lock, all my settings, cleaning mode, mow. I can actually just interact here and not even open the app if I want to. Now, probably my favorite thing is this little remote. So you can see my little guy right there. I have some options for modes: normal, fast, slow. Of course I'm gonna go fast. So if I want to like dial in my yard and take some manual control over my mower, I can do that. Change the cut height anywhere from, it's at 101 millimeters, but like, look, I can dial that all the way down to 19 millimeters. Now check it out. I'm gonna go reverse first. Look at this. It's like driving an RC car. Bring it back forward. Turn a little bit. Look at that. Probably the coolest thing on this model is this zero turn aspect. So if I go all the way this way, look at those front wheels. It can just turn on a dime and very gently. And the whole thing here is not just maneuverability, but it's also that it's going to be more gentle on the turf. It's kind of nimble in the way that it actually moves about. Now, the other cool thing here is how quiet it is. Obviously, the blades are not running right now, but I'm gonna run the blades for you so you can hear what those sound like. I mean, it barely even sounds like a vacuum cleaner. So this is why it can mow at night and cause no problems for anyone, because that's what it sounds like. And I suppose that's the benefit of electric in general. But because this thing is working and operating on its own, going to the charge base on its own, and essentially managing the lawn on its own, I like the ability to take over manual control too. If you just want to like dial in a little section, you know, just want to get really close. It will work with a lot of precision on its own accord. It's kind of fun to just drive it too. You just imagine Will just on his back deck, just dialing in the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. 19 millimeter grass height. Fast mode is better. Now, the other thing about the X430 is the fact that it can go over obstacles and up inclines. And we saw it go up really steep inclines, but for the purpose of this testing, we're gonna try and beat this obstacle right here. Let's see if we can do it. Woo! That's that suspension. Now, depending what's on this lip, like it might be dragging the blade. I don't know though. I probably depend on your setting too for how high up you have them. If it was like a twig or a stick or something, it might chew through the stick a little bit. But anyway, that's a pretty high obstacle. Sweet. We have all 4 tires touching right now, right? Is this one touching? Yeah, they're all touching. So it's not just one, it's a whole variety of Navimow options depending on your own personal scenario. Obviously, I'm having the most fun with the X430, but it's probably not going to be the choice for many of you, especially if you don't have an extremely big yard. That's where some of these other options come in. You've got the baseline, then you move into the LiDAR, and then obviously we get a comprehensive sensor set on the H series, and then we go all the way up to Acreage Plus with the X430, and you saw we were like hopping over obstacles and having too much fun with it. So you guys let me know down in the comments here which of these is most suitable for you. Which would you be most likely to pick up? These things have come a long way. Honestly, they're so much easier to deal with now, especially the models that don't require RTK. You just drop them and they start mowing, and that's pretty much it. And they work almost in silence. So it's probably going to be their first robot. If they don't have the vacuum robot yet, then they get the lawn robot. Do you have a vacuum robot, Will? So you got to get the lawn robot. It's your next robot.